Sometimes we as human beings, we get too selfish that in our quest to get things that we need for ourselves or for personal gains, we lie a lot.
Look at the so many nodness we have. Instead of just talking on air, one person could have used his or her intelligence to sue Etornam. So much money we use in doing things that don't matter during weekends. I am telling you that we can get somebody's house they are not using and fill it with pads and diapers. And every woman can walk into that store just to pick a pad. Instead of using insults that they already have a perception that it is our character, we like to fight. Why not change the narrative by using the intelligence we have now, the education we have now? But if we are going to be honest, out of the lot of Kayayo girls in Accra, if you come across 10 of them, 9 of them are nodness. These are their evidences. The manner in which they use them and treat them defines the poverty. Must we always sit down to be insulted before we empower our women? Go into reading and you would realize that I didn't even see any northern region name pop up when I tried searching on very poor regions, as we said. Northern region didn't even pop up.
The narrative they seek to project on some of these TV series is not better than child marriage.
Yeah.
Because most of these TV shows are promoting promiscuity. And that takes us to the conversation of the Yolo TV series that, was shot in the northern part of Ghana. I've lived in Tamale for almost 10 years now. I've lived the rest of my life in Wa. I've not come across a child marriage. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's not happening.
Yeah.
But when you come to the north and you want to tell a story, and that is the only story you think you can tell about the people of the north. For me, I have a big problem with it. In Tamale, as I've said, for the last 10 years, I've not heard of any single case of child marriage.
Yeah.
But I've seen 14-year-old, 12-year-old girls having boyfriends and having sex left, right, center.
Okay, Maraba, welcome to another exciting episode of the North's favorite podcast, Africa's finest. It's called the North Podcast right here from the northern part of Ghana. My name is Prince Hamdan. Today we have a whole lot of issues to talk about, and today I'm also excited to have my regular suspects in the studio. Rahim snapped.
Regular suspect, hard suspect.
On popular demand, popular request, Phyla is back in the studio.
Yeah. we had to fetch her from far. We had to fetch her from far.
It wasn't easy, but
she was inside the Kobulugu, but we have brought her out.
I'm super excited. Phyla is here. I'm excited. Snap is here as well. And we have, a couple of issues to talk about. And anytime we are here, it's about, development, it's about progress of the North. And I'm always excited to be doing this. Today, we are going to talk about a very trending issue, an issue that has been, a big issue for all nodness that have seen the story, and even people who are not, because I've heard people reaching out to me or making comments on social media. As to how disgusting, that story or the commentary was. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the issue of Rita Etornam, who, in her, duty or her quest to raise funds to support an NGO, she went to say certain things that a lot of people feel is unpalatable, and it's not. It can't be substantiated. It's not true. And a lot of people have been talking about it. I've seen Wiala react to it. I've seen a couple of sisters and brothers who have been reacting to that as well. And we're also going to talk about similar conversation regards to Yolo. If you remember, Yolo have shot some scenes in Tamale or in the northern part of Ghana that, is talking about, what was the name? Child marriage and all of those things. We are going to get into all of that. But before then, we want to start on, a conversation we started last week where we were talking about how young people are abusing substances, and it's destroying the future generation.
Right.
And I'm super excited that a lot of people are getting into the conversation and they are taking it serious. Because quite recently there were young people from the Abu Abu community who, decided to say that enough is enough.
Right.
And they went in and they clamped down on the dealers of these drugs and then chased everybody out.
Right.
And subsequently, other communities where these things are happening are also taking it up to make sure that, they nip this in the bud. And for me, that's quite recommendable.
It is.
And
I'm very happy and proud that this has gotten to this point.
Exactly, because as we said earlier on the other day, it's a collective community, effort that would be able to help us stop this.
Yeah.
So let's pick the conversation from that angle. For me, I think it's recommendable.
It is.
And
It is.
I think everybody should join in the fight.
Yes.
What do you think, Snapped?
I am only hoping that no external force would come in and try and then bail some of these people that have been put out of the forest or stopped or arrested. They should be punished to the best of the capacity of the law. But if you have people coming in and saying release this person, get him out, give him back his
Order
duties,
from above.
you understand, it's just going to take us back to where we are trying to, and even it might cause more harm to us, because they would then know that they are untouchable, and some of these people, if you give them the power to know that they are untouchable, they misuse it. It can go as far as, and then these drug abuses can lead to a lot of other things. It can lead to human trafficking, it can lead to deaths and all of that. So please, let's stop this thing as it has started.
Right. Phyla,
Yeah.
what's your take?
Okay, I'm here to kind of encourage us to embrace the victims. If we are trying to curb this issue by arresting the dealers and those who bring in the drugs, it's going to definitely affect those who consume it positively, because they won't get it the way they used to.
Yeah.
For that reason, we should expect them back into our societies.
Yeah.
If you think you have a place at your workplace, your job, you have something doing that can get them closer, let's be willing to embrace them.
Yeah.
Most of them need love. Most of them need food. Most of them need encouragement.
Yeah.
And it's going to go a long way to really help them. Let's not say that he was like this, he was like that. No. People change. Some people change. Let's give some of them a chance. I knew a guy, name withheld. I cannot mention his name.
Of course.
This was a guy I just used to see randomly amongst my mutual friends, and he was such a very nice guy. One day he appeared at my restaurant, and all I could see was drugs. This nice guy had turned into something else.
Wow.
I wasn't disappointed. I prayed for him and I gave him food. And I was so happy he came back all the time when he didn't have money or when he couldn't buy food for himself. And then he comes to lurk around my restaurant, even when I'm not around. And God being so good, anytime God feels he needed that help in the form of food, I'll be available to give him the food. And I make my girls feel that anytime he's around and I'm not there, please give him food to eat. Package it like we sell it to other people and give to him to eat. Other people can join hands for us to let them feel loved as human beings. And then gradually, they would fit into the society.
And I think that is all they need to change,
Yes.
love.
Yeah.
And you see, most of these people get into these things for the lack of just these basic things.
Yes.
They don't feel cared about in the society. They don't feel loved.
Right.
And the moment they start to get those things, you see that it's a direction that would pull them out of whatever situation. Because most of these guys know the harm these drugs are causing to them. But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. So just as she's saying, I also want to reiterate on that part that, you see, let's not look at them as bad people. Let's see them as our brothers and sisters. We band or we try to arrest these people because we want the good of them.
Yeah.
But if we arrest these people and still leave them without, paying attention to them, they'll go back and they'll do it.
Yes.
Because it's something that is in their blood now.
Yeah.
So stopping it wouldn't be easy. It will take some effort.
Yeah.
And they need love, they need care, and they need
Exactly
support.
so.
That is the only way we can, support them to get out of it.
Yeah.
It is a good step, but let's not stop there.
Yes.
Let's identify them. Any of them that we see that they need help. Don't say lakube. Let's tone down.
Yeah.
Let's look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It could be your brother.
I also want to beg our parents, our parents and guardians don't know the harm they do to their own children. A woman carries a child for like 9 months, 8 months, give birth to the child, and doesn't reflect on the pain she went through. A child is going wayward. A child is doing something wrong. And our people are always quick. Those
words.
What the things you say, how do you feel when those things start impacting on these children? Let's try to control our anger as parents. Let's try to control our tongue. Let your future child represent you, and people will be proud to say, look back at her parents, look back at his parents. That's how responsible and lovely they speak and talk. Do you realize that most of our youth now, when they are talking, and you look back at certain family members they have, it's a reflection that they pick those things from there. Yeah. Let's tone down on what we say to our children when we feel they are going wayward, and embrace other polite measures to be able to help them.
Okay. All right. I think we won't go much into the conversation. As I said earlier on, it's a collective responsibility. We all need to, put hands on deck to make sure that this thing is not more within our communities.
You are not safe until everyone else is safe.
Exactly.
So you just have
and
to
as a family, we're also going to do what we can do to support in our own small way.
Yeah.
Let's get into today's conversation.
Right.
We're on our on the streets, and we saw some allegations, being thrown or being leveled. Left, right, center. Our sister Etornam Sey, who is an NGO person or has an NGO that has interest in supporting girls who need sanitary pads and sanitary towels and all of those things. She went on radio and on TV to say that the level of poverty she has seen in the northern, she has seen poverty, but the level she has seen in the northern region, is just out of the roof. And then she goes to say that some of the girls in the north actually uses clay in place of sanitary pads. And this sparked a whole different, level of conversation and outrage from people who are from the north, people who live in the north, and a whole lot of other people. Yeah. I don't know what I'm sure you've seen the videos.
I've seen it.
I'm sure you've heard her, from her mouth. Yeah. You've heard it from her mouth. What comes to your mind when you heard when you saw the video? Fila, let me start with you, or Snapped, you start.
Where we come from, men first.
Right. So it's very sad, and let me say it was very sad hearing and seeing that, because sometimes we as human beings, we get too selfish that in our quest to get things that we need for ourselves or for personal gains, we lie a lot. I'm not sure if there's pressure on her, like there is now on her, to show where exactly she saw clay pad being used. She would be able to point it out. And sometimes the way we sell ourselves and sell other people for gains, It's not good. Sometimes, as a photographer, you go out with an NGO to do work, and then they are on you. Hey, don't let this show. Don't let an earpiece. Someone, it shouldn't be shown that someone is having a phone to even use an earpiece with it and all of that. Then you ask yourself, so what message are we trying to get across? Are we that rural? And trust me, people like to say the northern part of Ghana is so rural than any other part, but it's same across.
So if I get what you're trying to say, all these things are staged just to give a certain narrative about
so that the fundings can come in. You know, they usually get these fundings from international bodies that are supposed to see that, okay, these people really need help.
Because that's the story they tell.
That's the story they tell. So like I'm saying, you go to drill boreholes somewhere. I've done some borehole drilling with some NGOs. Like I've gone around with them to take pictures. You go somewhere and then you see that there's a, how would I put it? What you see in the north, if you go to the southern side that is also rural, you see basically the same things. So it's the same across board. It's the same across the country. We don't have to just let it look like this part that we are from is much more rural than other parts. Because of the way she was doing her submission and then mentioned that, especially in the north and all of that, it was so disheartening.
But I'm not cutting you, but she's not the only person.
She's not the only person.
Isn't it because we accept the tag that, you know, we are poor? The north is poor. So yes, whatever, you know, benefits there are, bring it to the north. Don't you think that is the notion, or that is the
yes? So from what you are saying, why we are selling ourselves out as people that really need help. But sometimes, trust me, when this help comes, it doesn't only come to us. It comes to us and it goes to other places, because these people that are really seeking the help are not from here. And the ones that are from here are also helping those people that are not from here sell the message the way they want to sell it, because they see that's the only way funding will come. So sometimes when these international bodies come down themselves to do these searches and all of that, then you then see that they start to stage, they go to this community and go like, oh, you have to let this, when these people come, you have to let them know, oh, you don't have this, you don't have that. They don't take them to places where, let's say, they say they don't have potable drinking water. They'll never take them to a place where there's a running tap or some running water. They'll only take them to a stream that's very dirty, or take them to a place where a dried well or something. You know, so like I'm just saying, we need help, but we shouldn't sell ourselves short. There's a lot of good happening here. You can sell it, you can request for help in a way that would give you what you really need. You don't have to lie about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So before Phyla comes in, if you've been following my Facebook page, we've been running a fundraiser to support us replace my drone. I've lost my drone. I've crashed my only drone that I used to, create content that projects the north. That, I mean, as we are saying, tells the better story, the better side of the northern story.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I lost my drone, and we've been trying to raise funds. And this work is not easy. Because there's already so much bad stereotypes, negative narratives about the north. So trying to come out with the positives, it's not actually easy. So we've been trying to raise funds, one, to buy the drone, and also to support us with other equipment and logistical challenges as well. So we are still continuing the fundraiser on my social media, my Facebook page. We will leave the donation channels on the video if you are interested in supporting this cause, because all of these things that are happening is because we are not telling our own stories.
Yeah.
If you're not telling your story, somebody else will tell your story, and trust me, it won't be palatable. If you are somebody who is from the north, or not even from the north, because most of the people who or some of the people who are supporting the donate fundraiser are not actually from the north.
Wow.
And there are some of them who are even giving the highest donations.
Wow.
Right.
So they understand what we are doing, and they see the importance of what we are doing. So
and it probably it has changed their mindset on a lot of things they thought was happening.
And these are
here.
very open-minded people.
That's
so
beautiful.
my very own people, let's make this happen. So far we've gotten a couple of donations, and I want to thank those who have donated so much for believing in what we are doing and supporting us. One other thing is that, the podcast is growing, and there are a lot of people who are getting the message. We are looking at, partnering with businesses who are interested, or who operate within the north, or even out of the north, on sponsorship deals. If you want to market your product within the northern territories, and interesting enough, this is the only podcast that is watched across the entirety of the north, right? Upper East, Upper West, Northern Region, Savannah, Northeast. So if you bring your products to, sell on this podcast, trust me, you are going to get a lot of, people who are going to, engage with your product and also patronize what you are doing. So let's support the podcast to grow. Let's support the podcast to tell the Northern story. That is all we are here to do. And I encourage particularly businesses owned by our very own brothers from the North, right? The business can be in Accra, it can be here. Let's support our own, projects to be able to, tell a better story, for us. All right. So thank you very much for to those who have donated. Okay. So, Phyla.
Yes.
Let's talk about, you are a woman. I don't know how clay can absorb blood. So tell us, is it true?
Okay, so first of all, I would want to apologize to men and women who have been offended by Etornam's way.
Have you not been offended yourself?
Maybe 50-50.
50-50, okay.
Because I haven't used clay before, but I have used rags before.
Yes.
I've seen others use rags,
Right.
but I haven't seen other
Clay.
people use
Clay.
clay before.
Wow.
So I'm not offended because the insult is not on me, it's on my community. And after this apology, I would also come to say that before you come out to support something, debunk something, deny something, you need to read. You need to make your inquiries. You need to have evidence to come out to defend something. But I realize that as Nordness, many times we are quick to just come out and fight because someone said something bad about us. Whether it is true or not, we respond to those things with insults or by insults. Now, we are trying to send a message to our fellow Ghanaians who are not Nordness that there are certain things they think about the North or had been in the media and in the world about the North that are no more or has been curbed a little bit, though we are still trying to solve it. So it's not the way you used to think of it those days anymore. How can we do that? You cannot send that message to people through insults. It's been days, so many days. My fellow Nordness have tried using insults upon insults to force Etornam to come back to the media to apologize. She hasn't apologized. Is she dead? Are we also dead?
I don't know, but I think
I'm
that,
coming.
Okay.
I'm coming. Are we also dead? No. Don't you think that we can always sometimes use other means to get things done? One, there are so many educated Nordness across Ghana and outside Ghana that instead of using insults, that they already have a perception that it is our character, we like to fight. Why not change the narrative? By using the intelligence we have now, the education we have now. For instance, Etornam could have simply appeared at the courts through an ordinance. We take a lot of things. Somebody easily says something about somebody's political godfather, and the person goes to the court. Drag you there for you to feel the heat.
Yeah.
Look at the so many Nordness we have. Instead of just talking on air, one person could have used his or her intelligence to sue Etornam. Let the courts get her to provide the evidence she has. Now, if it's something that cannot be of public display, like she's saying, at the court there is enough privacy for that evidence to be displayed to the judge. And there, the judge will now be that confident to come out and also defend or debunk what Etornam said. How has the insult solved the problem? Let's not be quick to always respond to certain things by insults. To continue with this issue, it didn't just start with Etornam. We have simply just blinked our eye on things people were trying to talk about through the media, and then we shut their mouths because of our selfish interest. Etornam didn't start it. DS is only so out to the public because of the media, the way the media is now so open. They are not even making monies like those who took it upon themselves to degrade the North in the manner they did those times. There are those who have made fortunes, built houses, done properties for themselves because of how dirty they have sold the North. This includes our game boys, or fraud boys, I should call them. You see, I didn't judge them so much, some of them so much, but I began to disassociate myself, be godly, and to be honest that if you are telling rich people, if you are saying that they came to steal from us so many riches, so many gold, and so many things that could have made our country rich, and for that reason, you are doing what you do to get back those riches into the country. Hamdan and other people here, tell me how many times you have seen these guys upon all that they have, the cars, the luxury, the properties they build, the sponsorships they give to ladies to go on trips, unnecessary trips. Till Etornam's issue came up, how many of them have come out, reached out to at least sociable ladies like myself and other beautiful, well-educated ladies in the North and said that, okay, this period, don't even give out the money. If you think you have trust issues, go and get these pads. Get beautiful panties you can order from China. Get beautiful undies you can order from China at even cheap prices, annually, monthly. Till Etornam's issue came up. Tell me how many men and women you have seen do those things. And show me evidences of it. Must we always sit down to be insulted before we empower our women, before we help them as they are making efforts to be successful, before we figure out the young girls who are ambitious coming from the North, capable of giving back to these vulnerable societies? We don't. We are quick to support Southerners who come down with such narratives because we want to belong, because we want to know them. And believe me, these girls working in those NGOs are girls who are not suffering. Believe me, they could have used monies from their own pocket for those causes. But no, there is a hidden agenda. And if a Northern girl had come up, a Tamale girl had come up, a Wala girl had come up, a Bolga girl had come up with the same idea, asking fellow Northerners to support her, to reach out to these girls who don't actually use clay as sanitary pads, but for her to be able to monthly give out these sanitary pads and these braziers and whatever to protect these girls. They wouldn't support it. They want to support that person coming in the name of the acclaimed NGO just to belong. How long would that happen? We give them that storyline ourselves to take. We are not poor. We just don't have it all. We eat 3 square meals.
Yeah.
We don't sleep on trees.
I'm a typical northerner from the north, but I've followed friends and people, close people to the south, where they come from. And believe me, I had to squeeze myself into their rooms. That is not the narrative. But until then, must we always wait? We are quick to say they always mention the north. It is because they have seen our weaknesses. Why don't we build the barriers to stop them? How do you build those barriers? You have the women. Are you supporting them? Are you changing the narrative? What are you doing to support it? Somebody has a store that the person is not operating. It's an empty store. Are you telling me that as Nordness and how a little bit comfortable we are right now, every month, just don't even give money out? A group of beautiful, ambitious young girls, someone gives his or her store out. We brand the store, get a very suitable name for the store, that the store will be reached out to all communities in the north, a very big one. Every month, take it upon yourself as a northerner, if you are actually satisfied in a way that you can sacrifice 10, 15, 20 cedis, go and buy the pad yourself. Drop by that shop and dump it there. Let's give details out. Broadcast the message to, like, across the north. No matter who you are, if you feel this month you cannot buy sanitary pad for yourself, just pass by the store and pick it up. You are not putting the money in anybody's pocket where there will not be accountability. Sometimes look at the smart ways of doing things so that you don't feel that somebody is coming to use you for money and go away. Are you telling me that if we had something of this sort, somebody can still come in this modern generation that we are to use common sanitary pad to solicit funds? No.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes so much sense. But you see, like I was trying to say, we as a people, sometimes when there's a dent, we want to give everybody equal opportunity of respect, because we give respect and we will demand it back too. So when something of this sort comes up, like someone goes somewhere to sit and say this, we fight back the best way we know. I don't say that is always our way, but we want to go out there and let them know, no, you don't do this. And then this simply, probably on that day it had started, if she had apologized through those same media spaces, I'm not sure this would have gone this far. People are trying to let her know that, or let whoever her sponsors or funders are know that this is a lie. The courts might take a long time to solve this thing.
I get you.
Let me come in.
You know?
I get the point you are trying to make.
Yes.
But if you think about File's message very well,
yes,
it goes beyond. It's like it's
no. File's message is powerful.
It has a certain direction.
What I'm saying is, if it was me and I tread this lane of insulting back or trying to let you know that you have done me wrong, now after listening to Fila, I'll do what Fila is saying we should do. But I'm only saying that we've done this in the past and are continuing to do it because it has solved some of our issues. So I don't think anyone like Rita or someone that's trying to be like her will come up again and then do this to us.
It may come in a different form.
Good. Right.
And can insults always solve those kinds of problems?
You know, I'm not even so much about the insults part. You know, there are a lot of people that have intellectually given or put out posts and then yes, you know, I saw someone's post yesterday. The person listed what she came to the Upper East region, where she slept, who helped her through it all. That. And I think that's a very smart way of letting her know that, okay, you have aired.
You
and
think she
aired
doesn't
big.
know?
She knows, but you see,
and when
so
they come
that's why
down
some of
here,
my
they don't
brothers
work
and sisters-
alone. They
Good.
work with
Our very own people.
our very own people.
Yes.
And sometimes we give that impression.
Yes.
Yes.
We sell ourselves
Short.
in that manner.
Right.
We because we want the funds or whatever so badly.
Yes.
We want people to say that we are that poor
Yes.
for us to be able to get whatever is coming in.
Yes.
Forgetting that that is the narrative you are selling to the whole world.
Yes.
So when somebody goes to sit somewhere and tell that same narrative, who is to blame?
Who is to blame?
You get the
Ourselves.
point I'm trying to make.
Even. Yeah. right.
I get the point both of you are trying to make.
Yeah.
It is not wrong for us to sit on social media and address the issue, but we have to go beyond there.
That is it. How do we go
You
beyond
get
there,
it?
Hamdan?
We have to go beyond
Hamdan,
that.
how do we go beyond there? Look, we have the women. Believe me, we have the women. When some of us are with our fellow peers from the south, you struggle to identify if we are from the north. You really struggle.
Yeah.
It's not a compliment and it's not an insult, but I feel privileged that some people sometimes have to argue if I'm a typical Dagomba girl. Why? Because I can fit in where an acclaimed Southern girl can fit in.
And even do better.
I can be responsible as a Southern girl thinks she can be responsible. If given the opportunity, what they do positively, I can equally do same. But are we supporting each other? For them to see that narrative and be fearful of any message, any bad message they would want to give out to the public. You see, if we fight about this cause we are fighting about, she comes out to apologize. What next? Tomorrow, she sees a fellow Northerner she was with at the uni, lurking around, walking about, doing nothing. When there are so many people from the north who could have helped that man, that ambitious man or that ambitious woman she feels she knows from the north, she uses that person as an example. This is where some of them get their evidences from.
Yeah.
It boils down to us to let them see a reflection of the high voices we are putting on the media that we are not like this. Not to debunk certain things and then tomorrow they see us live in a manner that proves that we are really poor. We are not saying that when you go to the south, you don't see certain things that are equally here. But if we are going to be honest, out of the lot of Kayayo girls in Accra, if you come across 10 of them, 9 of them are Northerners.
Right.
And probably 7 or 8 will be coming from Tamale and its surrounding villages. These are their evidences. The manner in which they use them and treat them defines their poverty. It should get back to our homes. It should get back to our communities. It should get back to our leaders
Stakeholders.
and stakeholders. These girls
And
who are
they see
offended
these things every
and these
day.
ladies who are
Every
also
single day.
offended, after being offended and getting the apology, what next? How many of us feed the streets even when we have excesses? We go to buy wig, buy clothes, buy airtime, just to come on social media to do unnecessary things. Look at some of these soundness. When you take up the TikTok media now, that is of so much influence to the world. Take a look at the soundness and how they are utilizing it. Their youth are utilizing it. I come across videos of some of our northern youth. And if it's not Amapane, Abalana, Amanyabama, at this, come on. You need to help us. Send that message through how we live, that it is not how it is. Yeah. Not for me to defend something for you, and then you go out there and give it a picture evidence for the person to see.
Makes sense. It makes
So
sense.
much money we use in doing things that don't matter during weekends. I am telling you that we can get somebody's house they are not using and fill it with pads and diapers. And every woman can walk into that store just to pick a pad. You remember this Samaritan purse that came into the system
Charlie.
way back? I
Epic.
mean, the box came in a manner that should tell you that the label was there to let everyone trying to use it for other purposes know that it is not to be sold.
Yeah.
We can have sanitary pads that way. That if somebody thought that he or she is too intelligent for people to be charitable to come and donate things like this to better women and then young girls, and then you think you can go and sell it somewhere. Any well-minded person should be able to read the label, not to be sold and not buy it. You buy it at your own risk. You buy it at your own risk. Yes, Etornam didn't do well.
At all.
People are expecting her to still come out and apologize. But after the apology, let's learn to empower our girls. Let's support
And
them.
the men too.
Yeah,
And the
that's what I'm
boys
saying.
And the boys as well.
That's what I'm
'Cause
saying.
I think is a bigger conversation when it
Yes.
comes to empowering the Northerner.
Yeah.
Right? Because that is the only place. We are talking about all of these people thinking the North is this, the North is that. Where are our media? Right? People from the South or people from the account-speaking communities are that powerful because they've established connections
Yes.
in the media.
Yes.
If you go to Accra, the number of media stations owned by Akant alone is more than double those owned by all the other tribes put together.
That's true.
Right? So in that regard, you think they'll go and sit there and speak Dabanli?
Hell no.
They won't go and sit there and speak Wali. So the other day, I was having a conversation with somebody, and then I was telling the person that, you see, sometimes it's difficult to talk about these conversations, but we just have to talk about them.
Yeah.
Right? How are we investing in our youth as Northerners?
Exactly.
As he's saying, you
Exactly.
think
Look, Hamdan. Look, I got to a point where I felt that instead of coming out to fight for my town and where I come from, it is better to be selfish for myself. You know why? Look, the same causes, genuine causes, social causes that we used to come out to fight for and tell people to relate and reason on it and be able to help. You won't believe that these are same people you would see on the Soundness comment sessions when they are doing the same thing and helping that side of where they come from. It boils back to what you are saying. If you empower your own young people, this narrative will change.
It will change.
It will change.
So imagine there was
Etornam was doing this, and probably the lies she's been telling to get those funds hadn't come out yet. Our own men and women are under her post. Oh, well done. And you have done well. Can I be your friend? Can we link up? Even when they link up, it will be on nonsense. It will not be on an agenda for her to tap into the intelligence Etornam is probably using, change the narrative, and use it to help the North. It will be about clothes and shoes. It will be about how to help her also become a slave queen or a slave king. The narrative won't change there. Let's put into work. Let's put into the action. We have so many ways to take this perception out of the minds of these people. They are human beings like us. A lot of us have become human beings because of the contributions of some of some of these Southerners who have seen us as very ambitious Northerners, and they appreciate the fact that we changed the narrative.
Yep.
And I'm telling you that people down here could have even supported than them. Let's change the narrative. Let's not ask for apology, seek for apology. And then the next moment they can see evidences or see things that still portrays that we are really poor. Go into reading and you would realize that I didn't even see any northern region name pop up when I tried searching on very poor regions, as we said. Northern region didn't even pop up.
And as I said, I
didn't
think
pop up.
it's more.
It was
more
somewhere
on how
OT
we
and
just,
other places.
I mean, sell ourselves.
Yeah.
You might not be poor, but how you make people perceive you
Yes.
will make, I mean, the justification that you are poor. Because for me, I don't see anything that shows that we are really poor. But it has become a name, a tag, that when you want poor people, go to the north.
Go to the north.
And when they come, we are happy about
And
it.
you see, the first perception, those times, the perception, the reason people went with their camera to capture when they are giving donations genuinely to very deprived areas was with the fact that it will motivate other people who have enough
To share.
to share. It will encourage them to begin to give out. But you see, people have been so mean to an extent that these deprived people feel that they are being used, even when
Yeah.
the cameras approach them.
So mostly
Genuinely
they
from
don't
other
they
people.
don't want it.
They don't
anymore.
want it.
Once you just want to take it, you want to take a picture, like they are not
They're not in
really,
support.
you know,
Giving you the chance.
they'll plain tell you that you take these pictures
But
and
as
go
I'm
and you
telling
never
you,
come back again.
if you have been digging into Nigerian stories, you would come across a lot of media, people's pages and things they used to impact lives. And believe me, just sharing it alone will melt your heart. I mean, capturing it with the camera and sharing it to the public and how
Makes-
it has
makes people,
impacted on the lives of some of these people. Believe me, it will melt your heart. So we can do better. We can do better.
Snapped.
Yeah, so you see, in as much as we'd like to condemn what our people are doing, I think it has brought some fear. In the past, like the number of people that would have wanted to actually insult us has reduced because of this fear. If not for anything at all, they know we are united and we are people that would attack if you step on our tails. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense to you, because you see that in previous conversations we have said that we are not united in certain aspects of life, like in the music industry. We are not strong. We are not selling ourselves out that much. But culturally, as a people, we are so united that when you touch one person, it looks like you have touched everybody, and then we come together as a unit to go against this. So like I'm saying, some have insulted, and then probably, and Phyla, maybe we are only seeing these insults, and they are just 20% of the whole population. Trust me, a lot of people are actually not happy about this and are going about it a very good way.
Sure.
A lot of people
And
will just
probably
put up
we might not
posts
even
and
know
then-
what have gone on behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. This is just all I'm saying.
We are
'Cause-
hoping
'cause,
that
yes,
behind the scenes come
Something-
out and then
yeah.
we see what other people are also doing.
Because on radio and then okay, yes, it's true in a way, because sometimes you would expect that these are brothers and sisters that are in high offices politically should have come out by now to
Do you know
one
why
or
some
two
of them
things.
don't come out? Hamdan, do you know why some of them
No,
don't come
probably
out?
it's because they are under people
No,
that
and
would
the fact
suppress-
that, you see, you don't come out to fight for a collective purpose. And then behind the scenes,
there's no
you can be true to yourself that we are not being helpful to each other to change the narrative.
right.
I mean, that is my point. If I come out to debunk something, I mean, say, yes, it is not as it is. Myself alone, when I'm alone, when no one is watching, should be able to represent my tribe, my region, my religion well when no one is watching.
Right.
Not when it's on the media.
But you see, it's a media fight. This is what I'm just saying.
That was what I
so
said
behind
earlier
the
on. You
scenes,
see?
probably is this one that is out.
Yes.
Do you know what else they have said about us? And they have already
I mean, we've heard
fans
a
from
lot.
it.
We've heard a lot about. You see, and that's what I was trying to say earlier on. What Fila is saying is not that we shouldn't fight it on the media.
You can.
Yes.
But we should go beyond that.
We should go
and
beyond
even
that.
make sure that these comments it doesn't get to where people will even insult us. By what? By empowering our young people, right? Trust me, there are a lot of, Northerners that like have so much. But when it comes to, giving back to their community, trying to build their community, they care less about that. And as I use the other narrative of the accounts, if you know how the accounts operate, these multinational media stations that I spoke about, do you think is the governments that are working there? It's young.
Go to the big chop bars
You
in
get it.
Accra. Go to the big whatever in Accra and find out the people who are working there at the latter. Most are Northerners. Do they
So
come back
we
with
have to-
riches?
No.
They don't come back with riches.
Especially those who have
They don't come back with riches.
Stakeholders.
So
when it
if
comes
we
to
redefine the narrative here that things are not like this and our people are still up there
Showing
suffering, showing
worse,
it,
yeah.
you understand? They are still up there suffering and showing it to them. What have we changed? And when will it end? When will it end?
I think we as a people have a lot of work to do. We, just as she's saying, we sit here and we allow people to come from wherever to come and do things or say things
We can do.
we can do ourselves, right? How much or how intelligent is that girl that we don't have people here who can do what we actually have? I mean, I know young women who are doing this.
Yes,
but are they
but-
getting
but-
the support?
They are not getting probably because of where they are finding themselves.
You see, so as I said, we have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Like we need to empower the young people.
Right.
I travel a lot. When I get the least opportunity, I travel. And I sometimes, it's not that I travel on my money. I don't have enough to travel. But, I mean, within Ghana, look, Hamdan, you go to some of these places that have been overhyped. The fact that it is called South.
Yeah.
And I look at the life we live here and I feel proud.
Yeah. Very proud.
And I feel so like, I don't get it. Why our youth cannot be supported to actually give these people the competition they feel they cannot get from us.
Yeah. And even talk about that. You see, some of these things, it's a multifaceted
You move around
problem.
at night in Tamale
You get it.
until daybreak. I bet you there are things you can get
It's
till
a
daybreak. You
multifaceted-
move to you go to the south at certain places, and believe me, by 9 to 10, the whole place is quiet.
We need to tackle it, I mean, holistically. Just until recently, there wasn't even a TV station in the whole of the North.
Yeah.
Right? And you see, sometimes people hear things and they take it for what it
and they
is.
take it for what it is.
Right? And these are the things that helps in telling the story. If, like, somebody in Accra has no idea what is happening in the North, and somebody comes to tell them that, okay, so this is how the North is. I've gone maybe an over-exaggerated experience.
Yes.
Because there's already that mindset that for the North, this is how it is. So the moment people tell them, okay, this is how the North is, they tend to believe. I have a lot of people inboxing me and telling me how, what we are doing or what we are showing them.
Hamdan, is
Have
that
changed.
sad? And we
You know,
mustn't use emotions when we are seated
You get
on
it.
air to tackle certain things. Let's be truthful to ourselves, our society, our tribes, and everything. Look, if not for now, it was that difficult for some people to carry their relationship forward if they found themselves as Northerners in
Northerner.
the lives of a Southerner.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that quite a number of Northern ladies have interchanged the narrative. And they are and these Southern men are so proud and competing among themselves
For
to pick up
Northern-
Northern
yeah.
women.
Right.
That is what we should be doing. Not for me to come and shout on top of my voice, arguing about something I know, a little portion of my people justify it behind the scenes. Let's live exemplary by ourselves to change the narrative.
But I still also think that people should be a bit, slow
Yeah.
at how they just, try to dent the image or the like how people look.
Yeah.
Even if it is true, the manner in which she said it
Yeah.
meant so much, like negative.
Yeah.
Right?
So as an educated person, she
You
could
get
have
it.
presented it in a certain way.
Yes.
Right? You don't just come and say it as though, and I think that was what caused a lot of,
Exactly.
outrage.
Exactly.
And I think, you see, with all this said, people who, are not from a particular place, when you are talking about it, that particular place, you need to know how to go about it.
And do your homework.
Do
well.
your homework well, right? There's so many people who still believe in these old narratives of the North, and they've not been here.
Yeah.
But because of some of these things that are said, they believe it. So it means that anybody who goes to say certain things that are not true, you are doing a lot of disservice to the people.
Yeah.
In as much as we are here fighting to correct the narratives ourselves,
Yeah.
people should help us by not trying to just say anything you get. And that takes us to the conversation of the Yolo TV series that was shot in the northern part of Ghana. I've lived in Tamale for almost 10 years now. I've lived the rest of my life in Wa. I've not come across a child marriage. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's not happening.
Yeah.
But when you come to the North and you want to tell a story, and that is the only story you think you can
about
tell
the North.
about the people of the North. For
How
me,
are
I
you
have a big
helping them?
I have a big problem with it. And the way they tell it is as though this is a regular thing
That has been happening.
that has been happening.
Yeah.
And this thing have and you see, telling it in the movies is a different thing.
Yes.
Fighting it on the ground is a totally different thing.
Yes.
There's so many people who have been fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And I'm sure they have achieved a lot of gains.
Yes.
But when you come from somewhere and you come and then make it look like, like we are in the worst kind of,
Living conditions.
it's so terrible. And I don't blame them. I blame our own people they used to tell these stories.
Yes.
Right? Everywhere you go.
And those are the people we call our stars.
You
for
get it?
now.
Everywhere you
So
go.
if you are representing us, represent
Even
us
the
well.
Accra they are coming from, or wherever they are coming from, there are bad stories there.
Exactly.
Why are you not telling those stories?
Exactly.
And you are here to tell somebody else's bad story. You see where my problem is? The narrative they seek to project on some of these TV series is not better than child marriage.
Yeah.
Because most of these TV shows are promoting promiscuity.
Exactly.
Children at the early age, and that's why we have all of these unnecessary social vices going on.
Right.
Children
That's
as early as 12, 14 are encouraged to use condoms. If you say somebody should go and use condom, what are you telling the person?
And they are the ones that are actually following these TV series.
You get it. So
Yeah.
you are encouraging them
It's
to
targeted
be
at them.
Yes,
to
it's
do it,
targeting at
but
them.
Yes.
they should do it in a safe way. What is different from a 12-year-old who is having married sexual activities,
Yes.
and somebody who is being married out? For me, the one who is married out is even better than you. Because you do it with one person, do it with another person, and do it with another person.
For a whole-
We are not
without
saying
For unnecessary things.
you get it. We are not saying that is good. But when you are to tell the stories of people, you don't just first go to tell their narrative in a certain way that is not even actually close to the case.
Yeah.
You told a story in Tamale here. In Tamale here, as I've said, for the last 10 years, I've not heard of any single case of child marriage.
Yeah.
But I've seen 14-year-old, 12-year-old girls having boyfriends and having sex left, right, center.
Right.
What is the difference? But you think that is okay, but you don't think child marriage is okay. We are not saying child marriage is okay. But don't come here and tell stories that doesn't depict the reality on the ground.
A whole lot of beautiful things to tell
happening in the north.
Happening in the north.
And all
The
you think
culture,
about,
the
and you
food,
see, that still
everything,
goes back
you know?
to the narrative that has been couched for us a long ago. For me, I think these are people who go and take money and has to tell certain things in certain ways to fit their narratives.
Yes.
Because I don't get it.
And that's
Why-
where, you
why-
know, last week on our conversation or sometime, we had a conversation
Yeah.
on supporting young girls and
Yes,
businesses.
yes.
And I was like, sometimes you don't need to lie to get support.
Support, no.
And finance. Just being honest alone
Can get you.
can
that.
win the hearts of certain
And this thing
people
about
to help you.
everything money is really having, like, it's really going to put us into a whole lot of trouble.
Yes.
Now, there is nothing that is being done honestly. Anything that is being done is because somebody has promised you money or you are taking money
So
from somebody
you, the
to do
honest
it.
person, you are being seen as someone who is not helping.
It doesn't make sense.
So if you were part of the group that is doing that kind of, work or something, they sideline you out.
It doesn't make sense. Now, if you don't lie, you can't make money, or you are not part of. It doesn't make sense.
Now lies has become smartness.
That is foolishness.
Yes.
That is foolishness. And for me, I think our people have to sit up.
Yeah.
Just like we are condemning this, and just like we are working among ourselves to make our people better, we shouldn't allow some of these stereotypes to be told.
I remember
some of these
this
stories
movie.
to be told.
I remember this movie popped up in Accra. I don't really remember the name, but it went for review and it was rejected to be publicized.
Can you imagine?
Accra, it was rejected. I'll get you the name. It was rejected. So how come?
Is it the movie that was being told about
And it was
FGM?
porn. No, that,
okay.
that one was
From
Recent.
Yes,
Yeah.
just that
It
it
was
came.
short here.
Yes, it was done by Northerners and Southerners. So if they don't know that this is wrong, you had all the time in the world after you
To
had
tell
done
them.
the movie. Sit down, you watch it. As we are talking now, when we are done, whoever is editing this program should be able to know that
This shouldn't go on air.
This shouldn't go on
because
air.
it might cause certain unnecessary.
That is what we call review. So how do you help these southern people shoot such things? You gave them the message. You gave them the go ahead. Your presence was there.
That's approval.
That's approval.
And sometimes they even make it look like it is bad.
Yes.
Just for them to be able to get the roles to play and
they have
get money, make
they
money.
have the media to even publicize it more than us.
You get it. So see, sometimes it goes back to the point we are making that we are actually causing most of these problems. Somebody will come, okay, this is what I want to do. Somebody will come and say things that you don't even know where they get it from.
Yeah.
Because they want to feel or they want to belong to, YOLO, right? They want to feel part of
And
these
what next?
people.
And what next?
At the expense of your
In this modern times we said, believe me, there are some northerners that cannot even bath borehole water because they'll tell you their bodies will be itching because we have clean water, we have running water.
Right.
They are living right to an extent that they don't even use borehole water.
But people will go and make narrations as though like everything else coming from the north is bogus. You and I know, even as content creators or as documentary people, when people want to hire you from the north, they are skeptical.
Yes.
Because they don't believe that anybody from the north can
do
this
well.
this is our production. A lot of people see it and feel, are you sure you are from the north? You see those kinds of mentality. It's
Hamdan.
We
We once grilled tilapia for a group of people who were traveling. They just
Can you
saw our
imagine?
restaurant and then they stopped. And they said they wanted banku and tilapia. And we grilled the tilapia and served them with the banku. When they were done, the first question they asked one of our waitresses
Where are
was
you
that,
coming
are
from?
we averse?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Are we averse? In as much as it felt like a compliment, I felt it was an insult.
It was an insult.
Right.
It was an insult. What do you mean? Is this Volta regime?
Yes. Because the narrative is that
We can't
tilapia.
really
They
do
don't.
things
Some
that-
don't
And
even
it's
know
bad,
that
though.
the north
It's
produce
bad.
some part of the north. They have places they groom tilapia.
Yes.
They don't know. And for that reason, if tilapia is well grilled and is presented in a manner we presented it and it was that delicious, then it's coming from the south.
Kami, what kind of story is this?
It's sad. It's very
What kind of
sad.
story is this?
Very sad.
You know, and our people have to say, especially with movies.
Yes.
Especially with movies. These are mediums that go very far.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very far.
if you allow these things to go out there, it means that is true. It means that is true because your very own people are in it. And they are telling their stories. You get it? Fine, it might be true. But then, as I said earlier on, there are bad narratives everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So in as much as there are bad narratives everywhere, you don't
Concentrate
pick
on
a
the
certain place when it comes to telling bad stories. Because since they started YOLO, they've not shot any of those scenes here. The other scenes here. But when it came to telling child marriage,
They brought it down.
They
here.
came to
Other places there are
it
child
happens
marriages
there.
too.
It happens
right.
there.
That's right. You have
What
a point.
with regards to the Etornam issue, there was this one of our sisters who also shot a video to tell people that she was lying and all of that. And she said she's based in Accra.
Yes.
And there are some of the places, even in Accra, if you go, the lives people are living there. If you come to the north, you thank God.
Yes.
In the whole of Tamale, I have not seen anybody living in a kiosk.
We can do better.
You get it?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying people who live in a kiosk are not human beings.
Yes.
I know the struggles. I've lived in
Of
Accra and I know
course,
the struggles.
The struggles that come.
So it hurts when people come out and make these stories and expect it to fly.
And
it doesn't
believe
make
me,
sense.
a lot of nordness
sorry.
when they go to the south to do whatever. Believe me, finance their stay in hotels,
Yes.
comfortable hotels,
Yes.
till they come back.
Yes, and you see, most
of
of the
lack of
times,
comfort.
Some of these stereotypes they
And
take
lack of
are from the
accommodations.
rural areas.
Yes.
Right? They are from the rural areas, and if you go to the southern part, similarly, just as you said earlier, there are rural areas who are also equally,
As bad as it is
we
here.
have here. So
there are a
we
lot.
we have to.
Yet-
We don't have to we don't have to accept, or we don't have to make people like see us as that poor
Yes.
for us to be able to get help. For me, I don't, it even affects our mental psyche as a people from striving to be better. Because if I know that something is going to come because I'm poor, I'll sit down and wait for it.
Yes.
But if I know that I have to work for everything I have to eat, I'll get up and work.
Yes. And to add to, there are actually real issues that can actually gain you these favors than
Without
this thing you are
necessarily just
selling.
going out to
There's an organization I work for. I will not mention their name, but they deal in malnourished children, and they don't only do it in the north. They do it in the north, the south, and everywhere in Ghana. And then after a survey, the danger zone was not from here.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
The danger zone was not
So
from
what
here.
are you talking about?
So more concentration was put out there than it was here.
And,
So
and I think that
sometimes-
is why a lot of people are excited with the This Is North content we are creating. Yesterday I got a message from a woman in the US.
Yes.
She was very excited because she doesn't she has been and she sent me several messages.
Yeah.
That just tells you how excited she was. She said she doesn't see content from the north. She doesn't see this part of the country.
Yes.
Right? And at the end of the day, whatever people tell them, they will believe
They
it.
will believe it.
Because nobody from here is telling the stories.
Yeah.
We sit down and then they go and create the narrative, and then we wake up and then we are fighting everybody. It doesn't make sense. We have to get up ourselves, just as Faila said. That young girl doing Kayayo and that is being mistreated. What are you doing as a leader to get her out of that place?
And Hamdan,
I currently have two girls with me. Those two girls are part of my workers though. And believe me, when they are on vacation, their parents have taken it upon themselves to protect them by bringing them to the restaurant to come and support me with whatever work I have there. And you need to see how happy these children are.
Wow.
But other parents, instead of doing same at other places,
Send them
are quick to say they
send
should
them
go to Kaya.
Kai.
And they are happy about it.
And because of that mentality,
Yes.
us as a people,
Yes.
we need to change
and
our
these
thinking.
girls even feel like, you see, the same lesser work they would do here
And
for the same amount you
of
will
money.
pay
Or even
them.
more.
They prefer to be homeless
because
over
it's
there.
name for you to be in Accra or Kumasi.
Yes.
And trust me, the circumstances they go through there,
It's dire. It's
terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's
You
terrible.
know, they have to
For
sleep.
me, I'll sit at home and
People
eat
have
any day.
disappeared,
Yes.
and
Than
it is
go
part
and,
of those
you know,
people they use for rituals. They are those who disappear,
Right.
and no one will go
Nobody
looking
knows
for
them.
Even not
Eh,
for
the narrative was just she left home, he left home,
And
and,
he
never
never-
came
she never
back.
came back.
Yes.
And we'll bring it down to superstition, but so nobody did anything.
And we see, we have
Somebody
to-
probably killed him or her and removed whatever they want, damn them somewhere, and that's
because
it.
they don't have people to look for them.
look for them.
And that goes back to the point of our people, those who have already made it. You didn't make it for your own self. Me, I'll say it. God gave you whatever you have to help your people.
Right.
So we have to invest in our young
Hamdan,
people.
look, we have this thing this Southerners and Christians call youth whatever. It's done yearly. They are able to seek for permission from their various good jobs, take leaves. They go for that youth forum.
You've
forum.
yeah.
And if you see the beautiful things they do
They do there.
the North doesn't have anything.
Yeah,
of
we are
that
working on. We are
sort.
working
When
on
it's
the north,
time for
the north,
Christmas,
yeah.
when it's time for Easter, and you see the manner in which they come out
together,
to
yeah.
the less privilege they have over them
Yeah.
feel good.
Yeah.
When it's time for Salah, we don't have same here.
Meanwhile, trust me, you would have people advocating for that, and when the fans come, they just think about themselves, and then people
we
close to
don't
them.
have such
It doesn't.
here.
It will not come down to this part where they actually used to solicit those fans.
Come on.
It's sad. It's sad, but
You see, sometimes when you look at the shortfalls, there are so many.
A lot.
You don't know where to pass and where not to pass.
But
as
to start with, we have to
you
do
remember
right
the
by
other podcast?
ourselves.
I was saying we are working on a network.
Yes.
A group.
Yes.
Where we intend to bring everybody from young people from the north together. Some of these people can this part issue you are talking about. We could have just come together as young people.
Hamdan,
Right.
I'm telling you that no matter
Just
how
imagine if
hungry
everybody
we
buy
are,
one pad.
not 20 cedis. And we have this store that somebody we really can
Trust.
pick up and trust. Every day the store is open.
And people will go
A
in
young
and take
girl
it.
who would have gone to a man to go and ask for pad, and then he's like, let me kiss you before giving you the pad. We
We'll
simply
just come and
pass by
come
the store.
take it.
Pick one.
Have these stores in all the regions, wherever possible.
Yes.
You get it.
Don't give them money. Just go to the shop, buy as many as you can. Come and dump it in that store.
Well, I think we are progressing.
Yes,
we are there.
We are
There's progress.
progressing,
There's
and
progress.
I think
Progress.
we should be this passionate about our community and our people.
Yeah.
And in as much as there are shortfalls, when we talk about them like this, everybody will listen, and we pick ourselves up and find ways to mend things, and then grow as a people. And that is the essence of this podcast.
Okay.
Because as a people, if we just sit down, just as you are saying all the time, we talk about things from the emotional, point of view.
Perspective.
Go out there and just lambast the people who say what. We need to talk about ourselves. What are we doing as a people to stop some of these things?
Yeah.
You get it. So I think I don't know if you have something else to add. So.
I'm good. Let's just try to be honest and support our own people. It will prevent a lot of people from seeing the picture part of what we have debunked.
Yeah.
Yes.
And okay, snapped.
No, just
And you see, just as you said, supporting each other, we have to support one another. The accounts are like, this, large because they support one another.
Yeah.
If an account has a business, he makes sure he employs top of them.
Hamdan.
From
Unfortunately, look, what you are selling for your fellow Northerner for 50 cedis, your fellow Northerner will buy it for 100 cedis in Accra, still pay for delivery for it to be sent to the station,
and
they'll
go and
pay,
pay
for
for
transport in
transport.
addition.
You see, so
and
let's
they'll transport
change.
themselves to go and pick it up.
Yes. Let's be true to each other. Let's really be true to each other.
Let's change our way of thinking. Let's I don't know the word to use.
Let's just do right by ourselves.
You get it. Let's educate ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Education is very important. Not just the school education.
Yeah.
Education is very important. how can somebody come from somewhere to point the left hand at your father's village and you stand quietly and clap? It doesn't make sense
at all.
You get it? We have to, as a people, we have to, make sure that we are not careless about, some of the things that are happening here.
Yeah.
There are people who don't really care. So
and
far as
you see the way we care.
You get
Believe
it?
me, there are people doing good and they are not, and they don't care.
So far as they are making their money
and they are comfortable.
They're okay.
They have generational wealth. They are doing good.
And that is the reason
care.
why we are not getting anywhere.
And that's the reason we should appreciate each other.
You get it?
When others keep quiet and then we come out to diplomatically
talk about the issues.
Talk about these issues.
Nobody
and
should
how
come
we
and
can
insult
help.
anybody for saying what it is. You get it? And that's one thing I always pride this podcast at. We don't come here to insult people.
No.
We talk about the issues, right? As it's supposed to be talked about. And I don't see any reason why, like, any sane person will have a problem with the conversations we have here.
Right.
And basically I think that is just it. That is just it. We need to, as a people, like, stand up for each other. If you see your brother going through some pain, it should pain you. It should pain you. Anytime I go to Accra or I'm in Accra or in Kumasi and I see these Kaya girls, I get so mad.
Yes, and hurt.
You get it? That is
a lot.
the kind of energy we should have as a people. So if anything I can do to get them out of that place, I will do it. How about those who have the power to do so?
Yeah.
Even if it is not the entire population, at least just get a few girls out. Another one will get a few girls out. Slowly, they are coming out. It shock you that some of these girls are educated and they have to go there and...
I also want to, lastly, say it to stars. People who go for projects such as GMB
and all of
other
those,
things. Look, when you go to sell out our stories and you are fortunate to go far and you are given the support and other things, please let your conscience be intact. Because some of our people who have really been there, they get whatever they get, and that's it.
That ends it.
The message they sell out,
The message they had gone to sell out, that is it. You don't even see them living in a manner
that suggests that.
That encourages other young people to do better.
Yeah.
It is just for them to go and get the fame and come back and sit down. That isn't the point. That isn't the messages you sold out. Let it manifest.
Wow.
They come out and within 1 year, 2 years, that's it. They coil back into their shells and that's it. You hardly even see them coaching other young people to do better.
Mentorship
They are just like,
programs.
no.
Don't do them. But this, it's better if you are not selfish. Let's say you are wealthy.
Yes.
You have people under you. You empower someone else to also empower another person.
That
In the
is
end,
it.
you are safe from a lot of troubles.
That's the
That
point
is
I
it.
was
Because
making
you see,
earlier.
let's say if I have 100 CDs, then you come to me, oh Charlie, give me 5 CDs. I give you 5 CDs. I still keep 95 CDs, thinking I'm the richest. You will keep coming back to me. But if I'm able to empower you to grow, let's say 40 CDs, I grow my 60 CDs to a higher level. You can also empower someone else.
Maybe
to be
even
better.
where you are.
Yes.
You see, life no balance.
Right.
There might be a point where you
will
might
come
need
down
me.
and need exactly. So
You get it?
you know?
If you don't, there might be a point in the future your children might need me.
exactly
You see,
so.
so it's actually the best form of investment to invest in other people.
Yes.
Because those kind of people, even if you are never rich, but you will never be broke. You will never be
so.
poor.
Exactly so. There are
And your
people that would
children
always
will
help.
never suffer.
Yes.
You get it? Yes. And I think that is how before we were trained as Northerners.
Yes.
To see each other as each other's keepers. But it's like now, Charlie, we are very
Everybody
off
they
the
fight
road,
for himself.
and it's not helping.
Everybody is fighting for themselves.
It's not helping. And my particular, appeal is going to our leaders. They have a lot of work to do. We want to see them organizing seminars. We want to see them, organizing trainings. Some
If
of them
you
are
see
doing well.
seminars even happening at Radach, look well. It is from Soundness,
You
organized
get it?
by
We
Soundness.
don't always have to sit down for people to come and do
And if
these
a
things
northerner
for us.
takes it upon themselves, a young person goes to do, they will not
They
go
won't
and
support
they
you.
won't go there.
They won't support you. We have to do a whole 360 degrees overhauling to change our mindset, to find a way to make us happen. Because just as you are saying, if I am able to support someone to make it, maybe the person is in Accra, I'm here. Anytime I go to Accra,
There's a place.
there's a place for me to sleep. You get it? We have to adapt that kind of, support system where every northerner wants another northerner to succeed,
Yeah.
regardless of whether they are your family or not. We have to, very passionately, we have to adapt that. And those who have should support those who don't. Because, as I said,
After taking all this message, as a youth, as a young person, male or female, put it in your head that even if somebody doesn't need you tomorrow,
yes,
because they have it all, and for that reason they won't help you, go an extra mile to go and get help. Support yourself.
support yourself.
Go and look for life
Support
for yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Go and
Educate
work.
yourself.
That is it. Get something doing. Because there are people that don't help because of that perception. I'll never need you. So know that
Yeah.
it is
The-
for your
it
best
is- it is-
interest that when you get disappointed with the fact that
People are not helping you.
go out there and still do
And
better
I think
for
that's a very
yourself.
good point, because I'm one of the people who so much believe in, finding your own, pace and working
Faith.
at it. Regardless if people are not supporting you, you don't go back to sleep.
That is it.
It is part of the agenda for us to, get there. There are maybe but a few people who might even be able to help.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that as a northerner, you can't do anything just because you are a northerner. Most of these rich people, they came from zero.
Yes.
So you can also come from zero
Yes.
and be whoever you want to be. So let's tackle the issue from all angles. If somebody helps you, fine. If somebody doesn't help, what can you do yourself in your own small pace to be responsible in one way or the other, so that tomorrow somebody wouldn't see how you are living as a reflection of who we are as a people.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for the conversation, and thanks for watching today's episode of the North Podcast. My name is Prince Hamdan. If you are also interested in, joining the the fundraiser, please make sure you. I'll leave the details on the screen so you can also support in one way or the other. We are just looking at, just as we are talking about the support issue, we are looking for support to, be able to, tell a better story for the North. Because if we sit down and wait for people to always come and tell our stories, at the end of the day, they will tell stories that are not palatable, to us. So please support. Let's see what, where we can get this to, and definitely you'll be proud of, supporting us. And if you also want to be part of the program, or you want to be a partner to the program, I'll leave a number you can call for us to, let's support each other. If you have a business you want to promote, let's support each other, and let's make it happen. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Prince Hamdan, and I've been in the studio with Phyla and Stapt, and it's been an amazing episode. See you in the next episode. We out.